Parenting the whole child, nurturing emotional, spiritual, and social intelligence in a fast-paced world. Welcome again to the Parenting Talk Show with Coach Ayolua. And as you know, I am your host. My name is Ayolua Adedeji. I am the founder and the lead consultant at the Mother Family Focus, and I am the parenting guru. Yes, I love to teach parenting. I love to learn about parenting. I love to do parenting. Everything about parenting counts me in. Yes, and I love to be called the parenting guru. Yes, because not only does my life depend on parenting, families depend on parenting, our society, our nation, and the world at large depends on parenting. So today is another interesting session on the Parenting Talk Show with Coach Ayolua. If you have not shared the link to this session to parents or your contact, please do so. Don't be stingy with truth. All right, don't be stingy with truth. Invite your friends, your teacher, children's teacher, your families, your neighbors who are parents or parents to be, so that we can all learn and grow together. Today we continue a journey that matters deeply to me and to you. Yes, to me and to you. Raising children who don't just survive the world, but transform the world. So we spoke recently about cultivating life skills for success beyond academics. That was our last discussion on the show. And today we are going deeper. Yes, every day on this show we go deeper and deeper. We go deeper and deeper. And that is why you should not miss any session of this talk show. See, any session missed is a treasure miss. But never mind. The recorded is always available on my YouTube channel. If by any chance you miss the live session, you can always go back to my YouTube channel, Ayolua Adedeji, and the replay will be available for you anytime, anywhere. So today we take that vision deeper. This session is titled Parenting the Whole Child, Nurturing Emotional, Spiritual, and Social Intelligence in a fast-paced world. Here is the truth. In our world of constant pressure, perfectionism, and performance-based parenting, we risk raising children who just know how to impress but don't know how to express. Let me take that again. I said in this world of constant pressure, perfectionism, performance-based parenting, we risk raising children who just know how to impress but not how to express. Children who achieve but feel empty. That's the sad part of it. They achieve a lot, but deep within them, they feel empty. Children who behave but silently battle with loneliness, doubt, and disconnection. So today, I ask, how do we raise emotionally whole, spiritually rooted, and socially wise children? I ask you this question again. In this world that we are now, how do we raise emotionally whole, spiritually rooted, and socially wise children? And that is what we are talking about today. If you are here with me, let me see you in the comment section. Say, I am present here. And are you ready for what is about to happen here? Because I am always ready. I am always ready for you. All right, so let's first talk about emotional intelligence. On the last session of this show, I talked also on emotional intelligence. You see, in parenting, we can't exhaust emotional intelligence. We can't stop talking about emotional intelligence. Because for you to parent effectively, you need to be emotionally intelligent. For you to raise emotionally intelligent children, you need to be emotionally intelligent yourself. Of course, you know that you cannot give what you don't have. You cannot teach what you don't know. You cannot pour out from empty cup. So it is important that we learn, as parents, we learn emotional intelligence, that we are emotionally intelligent, so that we will raise emotionally intelligent children. For you to be able to discipline appropriately without damaging your children's wiring and personality, you need to be emotionally intelligent. For you to decode your children's language, you need to be emotionally intelligent. Emotional intelligence is huge in parenting. Emotional intelligence is huge in life. I'll still talk more about this. If you missed the last session, it's still available on on my Facebook page, and you can still get it on my YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. There are about over 40 videos, different videos on parenting. I made a video specifically on emotional intelligence. It's still available on my YouTube channel. So let's move on. So let's first start by defining emotional intelligence. So what is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your emotions and the emotions of people around you. Let me take that again in case you miss it. I said emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, to understand, and to manage your own emotions and the emotions of people around you. Recognition, understanding, and management of emotions. These are the three cores that makes up emotional intelligence. Your ability to recognize your emotions, your ability to understand your emotions, and your ability to manage your emotions. Not only yours, emotions of people around you. In this context, your children. That is emotional intelligence. So why is it important for children? Because it will make children to understand their feelings. I remember in that video on my YouTube channel, I said it, and that's the fact, that's the truth, it's still truth till now. That children who are emotionally intelligent, they grow up to become a responsible adult, who can manage relationship. They grow up to be good friends. They build healthy relationship. They grow up as better spouses. For those of you that are watching me that are not married yet, let me whisper to you that one of the criteria that you should have for who to marry, whether you are a man or a woman, is how emotionally intelligent that person is. It's not funny at all. It's important. Yes, it's critical. Emotional intelligence is critical. So if you are single and you are watching me now, or you are watching replay, if as a lady your criteria for a man to marry is that tall, lanky, rich, and all that, include emotional intelligence in your list. Include it. And if you are a guy, please, after God-fearing, beautiful, educated, include emotional intelligence. You see all these other features. If emotional intelligence is missing, the other ones are as good as useless. Yes, I said that because there will be chaos. There will definitely be chaos. So why is emotional intelligence important for children? It will help them to understand their feelings. They will understand their feelings. And a child who is able to understand his or her feelings will cope better with failure. They are not the type of children that will think of committing suicide because they fail exams. No, they are not children who is emotionally intelligent, who has been taught emotional intelligence. He doesn't belong to the group of adults who will want to kill him or herself because someone jilted him. Or I see some things on social media, a lady trying to kill himself because a guy dumped him, a man trying to take his life because a lady dumped him. What that shows is that they lack emotional intelligence because they find it difficult to bounce back after rejection, after failure. Yes. So children who are able to understand their feelings and their emotions, they cope better with failure. In fact, they will fail and nobody will even notice they fail. And these are the children people will think, they have a perfect life, they have everything. Life is just nice to them. No, it is not usually like that. It is because they are able to understand their feelings, their emotions. They have learned to recognize, to understand, and to manage their feelings. And that has equipped them to cope better with failure. It also helps children to communicate without aggression. Children who are emotionally intelligent, even adults, the reason why there will be misunderstanding and two adults will be fighting, exchanging blows and all that, is because they are not able to recognize, understand, and manage their emotions. That is just it. That is just it. Conflict is inevitable. If you are relating with people, either with your spouse, with your neighbors, with your friends, with your children, anybody whatsoever, conflict is inevitable. But how we manage that conflict now depends on how emotional intelligent we are. So children who understand their feelings will be able to communicate their feelings. And once you can communicate your feelings effectively, you'll be able to manage it. The feelings you cannot name, you cannot tame. I take that again. The feelings that you cannot name, you cannot tame. If you can't name your feelings, you cannot tame that feeling. You cannot manage the feeling. If you are angry and you can't even tell that you are angry, there's no way you can control that anger. There is no way you can control the anger. So it helps children to communicate without aggression. Oh, I'm angry. You can be firm and not be rude. Yes, you can be firm and still be stern at the same time. That is the work of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence. Children who understand their feelings form healthy relationships. Olaniyan Samuel Bukola, thank you for joining me. I salute you too. Thank you for joining me. You're welcome. So it helps children to form healthy relationship. Like I said in the video I made some times ago about emotional intelligence. Children who are emotionally intelligent, they will grow up to become a responsible wife and husband. Yes, because they have learned to manage their own emotions and the emotions of other people around them. And the emotions of other people around them. So it helps them to form healthy relationship. They know how to solve conflict, how to resolve conflicts. They know how to communicate their feelings. So they form healthy relationship with people around them. And these are the kind of people you see and say, oh, that person is a nice person. He doesn't fight. Oh, I've never seen that guy angry. Oh, I've never seen that lady fight. No, it's not because that person is perfect. It's because that person has been able to learn to understand, to recognize, to understand and to manage his or her feelings. There is nobody on this planet Earth that cannot get angry. Even God, The scripture says at some point God was disappointed for making human being because of our behavior. So anger, like I do say that anger is not bad. No, it is okay to feel angry. Anger is just a signal that there is a problem. And when there is a problem, what do? You solve the problem. So how you solve the problem depends on how emotional intelligent you are. So as parents, how can you nurture emotional intelligence in your children? How can you teach your children emotional intelligence? How can you equip your children to be able to recognize, to understand, and to manage their emotions and the emotions of people around them? The first thing is to name emotions regularly. Normalize talking about feelings, talking about emotions. Ask your children often, how are you feeling? What just happened? How did that make you feel? What is making you to feel that way? Sorry, the network has started again. Okay, we move on. So normalize talking about emotions. Use emotion words in daily life. You look frustrated. Normalize these things. That must be feeling excitement. As I speak in our living room, we have feeling wheel on the wall. You can print it. Just if you can make it frame, you can make it. Welcome back. I don't know what else to do to this network. I keep switching from network to network. All right. So I was saying that you should normalize talking about emotions. Talking about oh, it's all right. I think I really need to work on this network that has been very unstable recently. So we talk about naming emotions regularly. Talk about emotions regularly. We are talking about on how to nurture emotional intelligence in your children. So the second thing to do is welcome back. I hope someone can suggest a perfect network for me. This is really something else. All right. So the second thing to do to nurture. Sorry, I'm trying to switch from this network to other network. But before then, let's move on. I hope the network will cooperate going forward. So I was saying, I was talking about creating a safe space to feel. Never shame a child for feeling, for expressing feeling. Never shame a child for crying, for being afraid. Oh, why are you afraid? Sorry, I'm still working on switching to another network. Okay. Never shame a child for expressing feelings. A child is crying and you are still beating that child for crying. You are not nurturing emotional intelligence. Not at all. You are not nurturing emotional tools. Okay. I think the network should be better now. I've switched to another network. So let me quickly rush through how to nurture emotional intelligence in children. Name emotions regularly. Create a safe space to feel. Teach emotional regulation. Yes, I think I was talking about this before the network totally went off. So teach regulation tools, deep breathing, journaling, quiet time, drawing emotions. These simple things, they are powerful tools to teach emotional intelligence. Taking deep breathing, deep breathing. Yes, it's emotional regulation tools. I've shared on this show one day when our son came back from school And when they came, I was asking, who made you happy today in school? Who made you angry? We don't just stop at our school, no. So I asked questions to prompt them to speak up on what actually happened in school. And when I asked, who made you angry today? He said, this so person made me angry. Oh, what happened? He explained what happened. But he said something so profound that made me so happy. He said, I was so angry and I felt like eating him. But I remember that mommy has told us that when we are angry, we should start counting. So I started counting number 1. I count 1, 2, 3. Before I counted to number 10, I started smiling. That's emotion regulations too. And these are things that you need to be teaching regularly. It's not one-off thing. No. Even as adults, these are the things we need to do. We need to work on regularly. Deep breathing, journaling, pausing, taking your time, taking a break before reacting. When you are angry, drawing emotions, quiet time. Okay, when I'm angry, I excuse myself to have alone time. These are emotional regulation tools that we can equip our children so that they can be emotionally intelligent. Children who are taught to feel, children who are taught to feel, grow into adults who know how to heal. Did you get that? I said children who are taught to feel, grow into adults who know how to heal. So if you want your children to grow into adults who can heal, you need to start teaching emotional intelligence. The reason why some of us would still be referring to issues that has happened years ago, many years ago, and we'll still be boiling, we'll still be angry, showing deep anger because of issues that has happened years ago, is because we were not taught emotional intelligence. Is it okay to feel hurt? Yes, it is okay. But if you are emotionally intelligent and you are equipped with emotion regulation tools, you will be able to handle that situation without affecting you and people around you. So I said children who are taught to feel grow into adults who know how to heal. So teach your children to feel. Let them feel. Let them express their feeling. I am angry. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. African parents, when you see children feeling and say, why are you angry? Come back here. Is it me you're carrying shoulder for? Is it me you are looking somehow? No. You just need to teach them how to express their anger. It is okay to express anger. To express anger. You can equip them with words. For instance, in our home, we say things like, we don't use our hands when we are angry. We use our mouth, and we use it responsibly. So if someone is, getting out of the emotions and could not control it, you will hear other family members say, no, in our house, we don't use our hands when we are angry. We use our mouth and we use it responsibly. Even if it's me or daddy, our children will echo it. Mommy, we don't use our hands when we are angry. We use our mouth and we use it responsibly. These are tools, that equip children, that equips family with emotional control, emotional regulation tools. Quick tools that you can use to teach your children emotional intelligence: emotion wheels, emotion charts, feeling checking during bedtime routines. During bedtime routines, you can, talk about emotions, equip your children with regulation control tools. Now let's move on to spiritual intelligence. We are talking about emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence, and social intelligence, 3 in 1. All right. So let's move on. Spiritual intelligence. What is spiritual intelligence? It is a child's growing awareness of God, purpose, values, and inner peace. Let me define it again. I said that spiritual intelligence is a child's growing awareness of God, purpose, values, and inner peace. That is what spiritual intelligence is. Why does this matter? See, Storms of life will come anytime, anyhow, anywhere. You see, academics, it can rise and fall anytime. There are situations that your qualifications, your academics, even your wisdom and your knowledge will not be able to carry you. But children who are rooted in spiritual truth will always find their way home. Have you ever thought of that? Have you? Spiritual intelligence is important. It's important to let your children to grow in awareness of God. In awareness of God. Awareness of purpose, values, and inner peace. So how can we nurture spiritual intelligence in our children? The first thing is to model your own spiritual walk. Model your own spiritual walk. I have been saying this and I will continue to say it. If we are able to model the values, the character, the attitude, the habits that we want to see in our children, if as a parent we are able to model it, honestly, 70 to 80% of our job is done as parents. It's done. You don't need to start shouting up and down, hey, don't do this, don't, just behave it. Model it. You want your children to speak nicely to you and to people, just speak nicely to them. Just speak nicely to them. So you need to model your own spiritual walk. Let your children see you pray. Let them see you forgive. Let them see you express gratitude. Let them see you wrestle with questions. You know, sometimes I'm just walking around in the house and I say, oh God, I'm so grateful. And my children will say, Mommy, what happened? Why are you thanking God? I say, I'm just thanking God for all that He has done for me. Yes, that's modeling gratitude. Modeling gratitude. Let them see you pray. Let them see you study your Bible if you're a Christian or whatever religion you are practicing. Let them see you do that. Just modeling that, you are nurturing emotional intelligence. Usually when parents complain that my children don't read, my children don't study, and I ask, do you read? Oftentimes, parents who complain that their children don't study too. If you want your children to be studied, let them see you carry book like this and read. So you need to model your own spiritual walk. You need to let your children see you to model your own spiritual walk. There were times that our daughter, even from age 3 or 4, will wake up in the middle of the night to pray. Why? Because he has been seeing us, the parents, waking up in the midnight to pray. At about age 3, she will wake up by herself and say, Mommy, I'm not eating today. I want to fast. And I'll be like, what are you fasting for? What are you fasting for? Say, Mommy, I want to pray. Why? We have never sat her down to tell her that, of course, a 3-year-old child, a 2-year-old child fasting. Why? God is not wicked. But why is she doing that? Because she has seen us from time to time fasting, praying. So you need to model your own spiritual walk to nurture your children. Let them see you forgive when they misbehave. Forgive them. Even when they are facing consequences. Sometimes I just forgive them when they are facing consequences. Not for any reason, just to teach them forgiveness. Just to teach them forgiveness. I just tell them, oh, this is the consequences that you're supposed to face for this bad behavior. But I forgive you. That's modeling. Modeling. So the next one is to teach identity in God. Teach identity in God. Affirm you are loved. You are chosen. You are a royal priesthood. You are not a mistake. You are a peculiar person. That's affirmation. Affirmation. Here in our home, we have daily affirmation that our children read before they go to school. Yes, I am a king. I am a royal priesthood. I am intelligent. I am chosen. I am loved. Affirm identity in God. God created me in his own image. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am created for a purpose. God loves me. Every morning we have a song. We have a song we sing when we are departing as family. Every morning. I am so glad that Jesus loves me. That's a song that we sing. And when we are singing it, when the children, I love the way the children sing the song. When they are singing it joyfully, knowing that as they are going out, Jesus loves them. That is teaching identity in God. Teaching identity in God. Then creates rhythms of reflection. If you are listening to me and you don't run family devotion in your family, you are not doing well. Let's call it spade a spade. Whatever religion you are practicing, there's something I loved about our Muslim families. There is this saying in Yoruba that kekere ni maleti nkomo ni kewu, meaning that, sorry if you are not Yoruba, I will try as much as possible to interpret, meaning that the Muslims, they start teaching their children Quranic recitation from childhood. You see a baby, learning about Quran. That is indoctrination. That is creating rhythm of reflection. That is nurturing spiritual intelligence in that child. And by the time those children grow up, you will see them deeply rooted in their spiritual belief. So as a family, you should have a rhythm of reflection. Family devotions, thankfulness jar, scripture meditation, journaling in our home every night. All these things I'm saying. Of course, I won't come here and share what I'm not doing. Before I come here to say anything, note that this is what I'm doing in my home. Every night, my children are listening to me. Every night, we do gratitude reflection. No matter how tough our day is, no matter how hard our day is, when we are going to bed, we come together as a family, we do Bible reading together with the children, and all of us will say at least one thing that we are grateful for that day. Daily gratitude reflection. In fact, sometimes maybe one of the children is feeling angry, and it's time for gratitude reflection. Even in your anger, in your annoyance, you still say there must be something you are grateful for. We are not just creating that system. No, we are nurturing spiritual intelligence in their children. There will be another session. I'll teach you how, we don't know. There are so many tools in parenting that we abuse. We don't know that gratitude is one of the parenting tools, important parenting tools. Children who are taught gratitude can never think of taking their lives. It's not possible. It is not possible. Because in every situation, no matter how bad that situation is, they will find reason to give thanks. If you find reason to be grateful, how? That cannot happen. That cannot happen. So every night before we go to bed, everyone, even our baby, 2 years, 7 months, I'm grateful for today. He will find something to say. He will find something to say. And I've been telling them from next year, we move from saying it to writing it down. That is nurturing spiritual intelligence. So if you have not put that system in place in your home, please, after this session, you need to do that. It doesn't take time. You shouldn't take 10 minutes, sometimes 10, 15 minutes, we are done. So it is important. Raising spiritually aware children isn't about religion. See, it's not about taking your children to mosque. It's not about taking your children to church, attending all the church programs and all that. No. Teaching spiritually, raising spiritually aware children is not just about that. It's about anchoring them in truth. Anchoring them in truth. identity, and eternal purpose. Anchoring them in truth, in identity, and eternal purpose. That is what raising spiritually aware children is all about. Okay, then let's move to the last one, social intelligence. What is social intelligence? I've talked about emotional intelligence. I've talked about spiritual intelligence. Now social intelligence. So what is social intelligence? Social intelligence is the ability to build meaningful relationship, navigate social cues, and empathize with others. Social intelligence is ability to build meaningful relationship, navigate social cues, and empathize with others. A lot of us, even as adults, we don't know how to build meaningful relationship, even between spouses. If you don't know how to build healthy relationship, meaningful relationship, you might not get to where you need to get to. Yes. You see, social intelligence is as important as sending your children to school. It is as important. Ability to build, to make meaningful relationship is as important as sending your children to school. If you teach your children academics, you send your children to school, and you fail to teach them social intelligence, is as good as doing nothing. Sorry, but I have to say it. Ability to navigate social cues, to empathize with others. It is very, very important. These are skills, life-saving skills, destiny-achieving skills. All right. So why do children need social intelligence? Because a child may be brilliant but fail at life if they cannot relate, resolve conflicts, or set boundaries. A child can be exceptionally brilliant, but if that child cannot resolve conflicts, cannot set boundaries, that child may end up as a failure. That child may end up as a failure. Social intelligence is as important as that. In fact, I call emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence, social intelligence, I call it three trifecta of life. Three trifecta of life. That is what I call it. So why do you, how do you raise social intelligent children? The first thing I will talk about is model respectful communication. You see, those of you that will talk to your children anyhow, you are stupid, you are mad, you are crazy, you are this, you are that, to your children. You are not nurturing social intelligence, because your children will go out there and say that to who they are not supposed to say it to. I've seen adults saying abusive words, saying abusive languages to other people. Why? Because they were not taught social intelligence. They are not intelligent socially. No matter how big you are, no matter how brilliant you are, no matter how educated you are, if you lack social intelligence, if you lack social intelligence, there is fire on the mountain. Model how you talk to your cleaner, how you talk to gatesman, how you talk to your spouses. Some of you that will run down your spouses in front of your children. Useless woman. That's how she does. That's how she see. Your father is not a responsible father. You are not nurturing social intelligence in your children. And that alone can destroy the all right. Sorry, you see network. I'll switch to another network, and that is still doing this. Okay, we move. So I was saying that if you nurture emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence, and you fail to nurture social intelligence, you might, in fact, the other two will be destroyed. Yes, the other too will be destroyed. So, model respectful communication. Talk to your gate man respectfully. Talk to your cleaner respectfully. Talk to your driver respectfully. Anyone at all. We do tell our children, you need to respect people, not because of who they are, but because they are human. Human beings deserve to be respected, to be honored. All this respect the adults and no, I don't do that. That's the wrong teaching. Teaching children to respect adults. What about the younger ones? What about their mates? How do they treat them? So we should teach our children to respect people. To respect people. So far someone is human being, respect them, honor them. Honor them. One of my area brothers called me out on social media. I think 2 weeks ago, there was a post that went viral that a parent posted that his son was laughing at a child who was wearing rubber sandal. And he got angry. He packed the boy's shoes and bought 2 rubber sandals to that child. For that child. That he will wear one to church, he will wear the other one to school. So that my brother called me out that he would like to hear my opinion concerning that issue. And I said, as good as what that parent has done, as good as it looks, has that child been taught how to respect, how to value people? You know, in this part of the world, we value people when we see people riding big cars, you know, when we see them dress executively. That's what we see as people. That's who we see as people we should respect. What about those that has values but that don't have car? What about them? So I said that what I see that the child is exhibiting is a sense of superiority. So I need to ask the parents, how does the parents talk to people who are, you know, who seems lower than him? People like the cleaner, people like the gatesman, people like the laundry guy, the stewards at home. How do you talk to them? The way you talk to your cleaner, the way you talk to your house help, the way you talk to the driver, the gatesman, is teaching your children something. It's teaching your children. Jama Akinlavi, thank you for joining me. I see you, you're welcome. So this is how to nurture social intelligence in children. It is important. So model respectful communication within your family, with your spouses, with your children. When your children misbehave, correct them respectfully. Don't talk down on them. The way you talk down on them, that's the way they will talk to you. And sadly, most of us that do these things, we can't tolerate it when the children are doing that to us. We would have forgotten that we taught them. We taught them. So, model respectful communication. The second thing is to role play social situations. We do a lot of role play in our home. Yes, in fact, that was what I used to teach our children emotional intelligence. How to handle situations. Sometimes we just handle when there is a violence scene. How do you escape? Role play. It sticks to the brain. Even more than teaching. Do role play. Practice how to greet. I see a lot of children now. They just walk past adults without greeting. That's uncultured. That shouldn't be. Greeting is part of social intelligence. Do you know something? That if your child passes through an adult and the child refuses to greet, do you know that in case there's problem, the adults around are the people that will save that child? Let me tell you what happened some time ago. I was seated outside in our compound with our children. A lady came around. She came looking for her neighbor. She passed. A young lady. She passed. She didn't greet us. Unfortunately for her, the person she came to look for just went out. She knocked. She tried calling. I guess the number was not going. And she was stranded there. And I refused to talk to her. Why? Courtesy should demand. Courtesy should tell that when you meet someone, you greet, good morning, good afternoon. That's social intelligence. If she had greeted me even before she got to that the person's doorpost, I would have told her, oh, this person is not around. He just went out. Our children, no matter who you meet, you greet. If I meet children on the way, I greet them. It's social intelligence. Social intelligence. Teach them how to greet. Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma. It is important. Teach them how to handle teasing. Those little things. Teach them how to say no politely. See, those of you that when your children say no to you, you say, you are telling me no. You are not building social intelligence. Your children need to learn how to say no. No is a positive answer. It's just positive as yes. You know the reason why some children were abused right in their parents' house and they cannot do anything and they cannot speak up is because their parents has taught them not to say no. No, one of the things that we teach our children before they start school is saying no. Learn how to say no. If someone is doing something you don't like to you, you are not a tree. You can say no. I don't want this. It's part of social intelligence. We just need to teach them how to do that politely. We need to teach our children how to speak up. Let them speak. I'm feeling hot. This person did this to me. I don't like it. I don't want it. Let us teach our children. It's social intelligence. It will help them to build children how to set boundaries. This is one thing that I see. Setting boundaries. See, if you don't know how to set boundaries, you will suffer. Hey, you will suffer. The reason why some of us are in abusive relationship and we can't even walk away, we can't even stop it, is because we have not been taught to set boundaries. We have not been taught to say no. Even with relationships, it is important. The third thing, I'm talking about how to nurture social intelligence in children. The third thing is to teach empathy. What is empathy? Putting yourself in the shoe of another person. Teach your children. One of the effective ways to teach children how to behave well is to teach them empathy. Sometimes when our children do some things, we just ask them, this thing that you just did, if this person did this to you, how will you feel? I will feel sad. So can you now imagine how this person is feeling? Empathy. How do you think they felt when this happened? It is important. It is very important. Let me share key social skills that you can use to teach. Taking turns. Teach your children how to take turns. You know, some adults, they don't like queuing. Even me, I don't like queuing, but I have to. You know, you get to ATM machine. You see people queuing. You just want to pass by and go. Why? Because other people that are on queue, they don't have anything to do, right? We need to teach. It is parenting error. We need to learn to take turn. Teach our children to take turn. We should teach our children to apologize sincerely. Sincerely. If you are a parent and when you do something wrong, you know, African parents, we find it difficult to apologize to our children. Because we think we are the parents now. Anything we do, we can go with it. No, you are not nurturing social intelligence in your children. Ability to apologize sincerely is a good social skill that will help children to build meaningful relationship. Reading facial expressions. Teach your children to read facial expression is important. Recently, I was teaching my children, even when you are playing with someone and someone is saying, stop, please stop. Because if you don't, you can get injured. These are little things, important things that we need to teach our children. Asserting boundaries respectfully. Teach your children to assert boundaries. Oh, I do not want this. Thank you. Simple. Oh, can you please stop doing this to me? I don't want it. Simple. Asserting boundaries respectfully. Now, what is your role as a parent. This is where it gets personal. This is where I'm going to round up today's session. You are the greatest curriculum that your child will study. Let me say this again. You, the parent, you are the greatest curriculum that your child will study. Your emotional health, your spiritual depth, your social behavior will disciple your children far more than your words will. Far more than your words. That is why, if you are saying something and you are doing something else, your children will figure you out one day. Your children will figure you out one day. You know, as a Christian, there's this mentality that I grew up. Let me not generalize, but let me personalize this. That devil has special interest in the children of pastors and ministers. That's one of the things that I grew up with. And when I became more serious in my faith, in my walk with God, and I was getting close to the altar, I was afraid, because I didn't want devil to have this special interest in my children. But then I took my time and I studied the scripture. I studied about Eli, and I discovered that Eli's children, Ophni and Phinehas, they were not rejected by God because their father was a priest. They were rejected because their father failed to do what their father was supposed to do. Now, that's not where I'm going to. In my work with some spiritual leaders, I found out, I discovered that a lot of us, a lot of spiritual, leader, they preach something else and they do something else. Their children figured them out. See, children don't rebel against authority. They don't. They rebel against hypocrisy. If you are hypocritical as a parent, your children will figure you out. And when they figure you out, they will rebel. If you are saying, we are children of God, we are born again Christian, in Islam, we don't do this, and you are doing it, you think it's secret. One day, your children will figure you out. And when they figure you out, they will deviate. They will deviate. So it is important. That's why I keep saying it, that modeling in parenting is huge. Modeling is huge. Whatever you don't want your children to do, please don't go near it. What you want your children to do, the character, the habits, the attitude that you want to see in your children, please do it. 80% of your job is done as a parent, if you are able to model what you want to see in your children. Our time is fast spent. Let's move on. So I said that your emotional health, your spiritual depth, your social behavior will disciple your children far more than your words. So you need to ask yourself, am I safe to talk to you? Do I live the values I want my children to carry? Recently I think on Thursday or Friday, I was just thinking, in our home, quiet time is one of our daily routine. We have a daily routine, and every day we are expected to have alone time with God. And on Friday, I was just thinking, and I was like, it seems I have not been doing this the way I'm supposed to do it. I need to change. I need to change. You need to ask yourself, this value that I want my children to carry on, am I living it? Am I present, or am I just providing? See, your children need your presence more than your presence. Let me say it again. Your children need your presence more than your presence. Your children need your presence more than your presence. It's okay to provide. It is also much okay to be present. Be present. Be present. So children need your presence, your patience, and your permission to be human. Let your children be human. Let them be human. Sometimes allow your children to misbehave, if you call it that, in your home. Allow them. Allow them. Let them be human that they are. Don't expect perfection from them. Let them be who they are so that you can know how best to handle them. All right. So all children come from all parents, not perfect, but healed and healing. Healed and healing. We run a course at the Model Family Focus, Healing the Inner Child. You need to work on your healing. A lot of things were done to us while we are growing up. Please, you need to heal. If you are not healed, you cannot raise whole children. You cannot. You are not expected to be perfect. Of course, nobody is perfect. But you are expected to be whole, to heal, and to continue healing. Let me close with this. Parenting is not about control. I have said it and I have said it again. If you are parenting with the intention, oh, my lecturer is here. Oh, God, good afternoon, sir. Thank you for joining me. I see you, sir. Thank you so much for joining me. So, parenting is not about control. If you are parenting with the intention to control your children, you will miss it big time. You will miss it big time. Parenting is not about control. It's about connection. It's about connection. I talked about this in my upcoming book. I'm currently writing a book, Discipline Without Damage. The book will soon be on your table. And trust me, it's going to change how you perceive discipline. It's going to change how you see parenting. And in parenting, wholeness is the goal. So here is the challenge for you this week. Sit with your children. Let them name 3 feelings they felt that day. Share a story of a time you failed and how you bounced back. Those are the ways that you can teach your children emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence, and social intelligence. Start a nice gratitude habit. I've shared mine with you. We have been doing this for a long time. Every night, we have our gratitude reflection time. We ask the person that is leading, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, my boss. So we have a time before we go to bed where all of us gather and we ask ourselves, the children made the roster. Who is leading? The person will take over. Daddy, what are you grateful for today? And we talk about it. No matter how tough our day is, it is a ritual, that will keep family together. If you have not been doing that, it's a good way to go. Role play one social situation with your child. Do role play. Do role play is a effective parenting tool. And above all, remember that your child is not a project to be fixed. Your child is a person to be formed. Let me say it again. Your child is not a project to be fixed. Your child is not a project to be fixed. Your child is a person to be formed. Your child is a person to be formed. Thank you all for joining me on this episode. Every Sunday by 2 p.m., I am here on my Facebook talking about parenting. If you see me, just know, if you see me on your screen, just know that what I want to talk about is parenting. That's what I love to do. I love to teach parenting. I love to be a parent because I know that if we get parenting right, we will make the world a better place for you and I to live. Until next time, keep parenting with intention. Thank you.